The Manhattan City Commission unanimously approved the adoption of the Move MHK Parks and Rec Master Plan at Tuesday's meeting. Commissioners adopted the plan, which included 4 recommendations from the Parks and Rec Advisory Board that will be further explored. Commissioner Karen McCullough wants to support the advisory board's decision to include the recommendations.
I think including those 4, though, gives a nod to the Park and Rec Committee, who really spent a lot of time and who would not have voted yes had not those 4 things been in there. So I don't think it really limits us, but it just acknowledges that we take recommendations from our committees.
The 4 recommendations are: 1, for the City Commission to revisit the combined pool gymnasium facility versus an aquatic-only family-focused facility. 2, the location in City Park be reviewed. 3, an intergovernmental partnership be formed with the City of Manhattan, Riley County, USD 383, and K-State regarding a new indoor water facility. And 4, finally, that the City Commission requests clear financial costs in the Move MHK plan so it can move forward. Commissioner Jamie Minton wasn't supportive of having the recommendations in the master plan, but still voted yes to move forward.
I'm not a big fan of including all of those. I mean, I do think number 2, the location to be reviewed, that's a given, but from hearing from everyone in going through this process before and other things, not wanting us to get too far and then decide we can't change our mind. So I wouldn't want to dangle this carrot of a partnership.
The master plan will serve as an initial vision for the future of the Parks and Rec Department. The Kansas House approved the tax bill on Tuesday, and it will now be sent to the governor's desk for a final signature. With a final vote of 121-2 in the House, the legislation now heads to Governor Kelly's desk after nearly 2 years of debate. The bill also saw near unanimous support in the Senate as well, passing by a vote of 34-4. All Manhattan area legislators supported the legislation. We'll have State Senator Yusha Reddy on at 7:35 to discuss the tax plan a little bit more. Kelly thanked legislators for their quick work during the special session on the package. She said, while the package is not perfect as it focuses more on income tax reductions than property tax relief, it does provide significant relief and allows to still be able to provide funding for our public schools, roads, and bridges. The legislation has several bipartisan perks, such as tax cuts on Social Security and food. The legislation also satisfies the GOP leadership as it implements a 2-tiered income bracket, lowers rates, allows for exemptions for low-income taxpayers, and repeals the state tax on Social Security. The top rate itself has been lowered from 5.7% to 5.58%. The Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Office and Wamego Police Department conducted a search warrant early on Tuesday that resulted in the arrest of 4 individuals. The search warrant was executed in the 1000 block of 10th Street in Wamego as the result of an investigation into illegal drug activity. Officers were able to seize drug paraphernalia and firearms at the scene of the crime. 42-year-old Michael Lamis, 41-year-old Tara Couture, 41-year-old Michael Grant, and 41-year-old Brandy McCook, all of Wamego, are charged with a slew of charges, primarily possession with intent to distribute either methamphetamine or marijuana. You can find the full charges of the individuals on our website at newsradiokman.com. All 4 remain confined in the Pottawatomie County Jail, awaiting bond. With the city of Manhattan seeing problems with its revenue stream, talks have begun among city commissioners on how to replenish the fund, which is running particularly low with federal COVID funds starting to run out. A number of solutions to the problem have been discussed, such as raising the mill levy, which was proposed by Commissioner Karen McCullough. More difficult conversations have also been discussed. Interim City Manager Jason Hilgers says that the solution that has been used in the past is reductions in staff.
There are different ways we can look at revenue, but I think historically pressure really comes on reductions. Reductions in people, because people are primarily, that's what compromises the city. It's individuals out delivering services as opposed to a lot of contractual services or commodities that are embedded in our budgets as well.
Hilgers says that this may have to be a solution due to the low amount of money that can be delved out to different departments. The City Commission will continue to discuss ways to generate more revenue at their next work session meeting next Tuesday. Following the news that Caterpillar would be leaving Wamego, owners of the manufacturing company Dymax announced late on Monday that they'll be staying in Wamego. President and CEO Scott Balderson says that the reason the company went public with the news is due to some confusion going around in the community.
There were a lot of conflicting stories we heard for the last week, and so that's why we kind of put that out, was to say, hey, we still have a growth plan here in the next 10 years to double in size and create more jobs, and sure, we're not the footprint that the old business had eventually become.
He said that while the company is quite proud of its global reach, its heart still remains in the city and the surrounding region, and they'll look forward to many more years serving and growing within the community. Balderson also made it clear that Dymax is an independent operation and is not affiliated with Caterpillar.
There was no affiliation, so to speak, with Caterpillar directly, but we do work still a lot with Caterpillar dealers. So there's still a family tie and an heirloom, authentic way that we produce our product. It's a lot like the old Balderson company before we sold to Caterpillar.
Dymax currently employs 70 people. Caterpillar itself announced on June 6th that they'll be suspending operations in Wamego in mid-2025. The Manhattan Area Garden Tour will return for its 35th year later this month. The event will take place this Saturday, June 22nd, and is put on by the K-State Research and Extension Master Gardeners. The tour will feature 5 home gardens, 2 community gardens, and the K-State Gardens. The theme for this year's tour is Naturescapes. New this year is an educational talk at the K-State Gardens, particularly the Rose, Butterfly, and Cottage Gardens. A Master Gardener will spend 3 minutes telling visitors about the history of the Rose Garden, what to plant in a cottage or butterfly garden, or questions about roses. The tour lasts from 8:30 to 1. Organizers recommend a $10 donation from anyone who wishes to join the tour. Proceeds go to support the K-State Gardens.
Good morning, I'm Troy Coverdale with your sports headlines as K-Man's Morning News continues. 5 days after holding the Yankees scoreless across 7 innings, Alec Marsh turned in his shortest start of the season, giving up 7 runs in 3+ innings as the Royals lost to the A's 7-5 last night out west. 4 of those runs scored over the first 3 frames. Marsh was able to wriggle out of a jam in the third with no further damage done after 2 of those marks came home against him. Royals manager Matt Quatraro had reliever Sam Long warming up in the 3rd inning. In hindsight, he said he should have let Long take over in the 4th.
Probably used everything up right there in the 3rd. The pitch count was up near mid-60s and it was hard work. Stuff looked fine, just didn't command it as well as he normally does.
The Royals offense, meanwhile, failed to take advantage of opportunities throughout the night. All told, Kansas City left 6 on base and went 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
We're hoping to string good at-bats together. I mean, we put 100 pitches on him in 5 innings, so we made him work. His fastball played up. We didn't barrel him up early, other than Lofty's home run. But I thought the guys competed well. We couldn't string things together.
The loss leaves the Royals 8 games over 500 on the year. They'll try to get back to even in the series tonight with coverage at 8 o'clock on News Radio KMAN. Connor Holtz pitched 4 1/3 innings of shutout relief in thwarting North Carolina's comeback bid. Jackson West and Max Williams hit back-to-back homers in the 9th for insurance as Florida State eliminated the Tar Heels 9-5 in a College World Series contest. The Seminoles advanced to play number 1 national seed Tennessee this afternoon. They would need to beat the Volunteers in that matchup and again tomorrow to reach the finals for the first time since 1999. Last night's affair was postponed even before those 2 teams ended their game because of concerns over severe weather potentially moving into the Omaha area. Kentucky and Florida will meet this morning at 10, weather permitting, setting up the potential for a 3-game day at Charles Schwab Field. Willie Mays, the electrifying Say Hey Kid, whose singular combination of talent, drive, and exuberance made him one of baseball's greatest and most beloved players, has passed away at the age of 93. Bob Kendrick with the Negro Leagues Museum on the Hall of Famer who began his pro career with 1 year in the Negro Leagues in 1948.
It was larger-than-life personality. Willie Mays never got booed, even in the opponent's ballpark. And you have these memories of him walking through the streets of Harlem, playing stickball with the kids in Harlem. That's why so many people were endeared to him. And when you say his name, it just automatically elicits joy to those who saw him play. If you're from that era and you got to see him play, you got to kind of understand how he became the Say Hey kid.
Mays passes away 2 days before a game between the Giants and the Cardinals to honor the Negro Leagues at Rickwood Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Over 23 Major League seasons, virtually all with the Giants organization, Mays batted .301, hit 660 homers, totaled 3,293 hits, scored more than 2,000 runs, and won 12 Gold Gloves. He was the National League Rookie of the Year in 1951, twice was named the most valuable player. He finished in the top 10 as MVP 10 other times. Former K-State men's basketball player and staffer Shane Southwell has been hired as an assistant at Northwestern. The former Wildcat joins the staff of Chris Collins after 2 seasons as the associate head coach at Northern Illinois. He joins former K-State assistant Chris Lowry on the roster of coaches in Evanston. The two served on Bruce Weber's final coaching staff at K-State 3 years ago. Connor McDavid scored twice, including punching in an empty netter. He set up 2 other goals as the Oilers won Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Final on Tuesday night, 5-3. That sets up Game 6 Friday night in Edmonton. The Oilers are the first team since the Devils in 2012 and the 4th in league history to fall behind 3-0 in the final and win the next 2 games of the series. Royals baseball late tonight as Kansas City and Oakland continue their series out west. Our coverage to begin at 8. First pitch is at 8:40. The game this afternoon. We get underway with that at 4 on News Radio KMAN.